Making the move from the city to the countryside is often a momentous step.
Oh wow, wisteria up the front. Butterflies for this one.
But for many years, Escape to the Country has been supporting countless people on rural adventures.
Oh, wow.
It's beyond my wildest dreams.
We've travelled to the most picturesque pockets of Britain.
What's going through your mind?
I've got tingles. I'm hoping those are tears of joy.
To showcase thousands of exquisite country properties.
Oh, this is perfect.
I think this is awesome.
Not all missions are straightforward.
Look at that face! Look at that face!
But they are often invaluable journeys that can lead to a whole new way of life.
Perfectly adequate from our allotment in London to this.
So join us as we catch up with those who transformed their lives when they escaped to the country. Here on Escape, we help people not just find a new house in the countryside, but a whole new lifestyle. And on the show today, we are telling the tale of two very extreme escapes, long-term city dwellers who turned their back on the big smoke in order to rediscover themselves in the wilderness. Bonnie, Scotland, and more specifically the region of Dumfries and Galloway in the southwest of the country, provides the beautiful backdrop for today's show, where our country seekers were yearning for a taste of tranquillity. A little later I'll be catching up with Mark, who I had the pleasure of journeying through the southern uplands with back in the summer of 2019. But first, I'm dropping in on Antoinette and David, who had enlisted Sonali Shah's help less than a year ago to realise their wildest dreams. Committed churchgoers, Antoinette, a sonographer and midwife, and her husband David, a college lecturer, had been living in London's East Ham for over 30 years.
East Ham is fine. I can cycle or walk to work within 20 minutes. Everything is within arm's reach. But we're exchanging all of that, and we'd love to go to Scotland, where it's just peaceful, idyllic, detached.
Yeah, so I mean here we've only got to look out the window and you can see 100 or 200 other properties. We're looking for somewhere where you can perhaps see your next nearest neighbour.
Between them, the couple had 5 children and 12 grandchildren from their previous marriages and had high hopes the move would benefit the whole family.
When my grandchildren come to visit me, they've got outside space which is safe and they can just enjoy. So yeah, if I can bring a quality of life to the family, that would be a major for me.
They were also toying with the idea of setting up a business from home.
We have talked about a retreat, for want of a better word, where other people can come and enjoy the space, whether somebody comes on the land in their tent or whether it's something much more extravagant than that.
Part of a dream is using the land for the community. So it's not just for us, whether it's for the homeless. You know, I've always dreamt of having a hostel, always. So if I could put a hostel on, in an outbuilding, maybe that's what we're meant to do.
Our mission was to find David and Antoinette a family home with at least 3 bedrooms. Although flexible on style, they hoped to secure something with business potential, ideally with a parcel of land and some outbuildings. And if we could throw in a stream, then we might just have had ourselves a deal. The budget for this move was £350,000. Sonali's opening gambit was in Glenluce, to the west of the region. Built in the 1970s, these former farmers' cottages had recently been merged to form one larger house.
Wow, beautiful.
Looking good.
I'm sort of lost for words, and that's quite rare, but I am lost for words.
Should we head in?
Yes, please.
The tour started with the sitting room.
Wow,
That's all right.
I'm liking this space.
Lovely views.
Beautiful views.
And the house mirrors itself, so you've got the same reception room on the other side.
Expanse of space that we've never had the luxury of before. So far, I'm definitely feeling those homely vibes.
Definitely positive so far.
Across the hallway, the kitchen also drew some great reactions.
This is gorgeous.
See the mirror image now too.
Exactly. So they've made a dining room out of the mirror image of the kitchen and then added that space on just behind you, which is just a lovely summer room.
Yeah, wow. And I'm loving the kitchen, would not touch that kitchen. I love it.
An unusual split stairway led to the first floor. On one side was a shower room and 2 bedrooms. Then on the other, a more contemporary shower room serviced 3 double bedrooms, all with wonderful rural views.
And here we have the main bedroom.
Oh, wow. Look at the size of this room.
It is a good size, yeah.
Need to see a little bit more, but yes, I'm loving what I'm seeing, and I think this first house, you've done a spectacular job.
Outside there was a substantial garden surrounding the house with rolling countryside vistas. But the icing on the cake was just a short stroll up the lane. A large paddock and woodland which came with the house, complete with a stream.
No, you get your stream and your mature trees.
Of course, you've got the stables and the garages right outside the house.
Yes, we've already redesigned those. We think that they could easily be 4 self-contained holiday lets. Yeah, it has potential.
How much do you think the house is on the market for?
I think it's gone over budget. It may be as much as kind of 420.
You think £420,000?
I'd already got to 450, actually.
They're asking for offers in the region of £325,000.
Oh, no!
I'm hoping those are tears of joy.
I think so, yes.
I'm sold.
Falling comfortably within budget, it felt like perhaps their prayers had been answered with our first offering.
We wanted a home for ourselves and somewhere that the family can come and visit. Here we've got somewhere that the family could come and visit on day one if we wanted to.
I have been blown away, you know, and that's the only expression I can use. I'm sitting here feeling really overwhelmed. We are going to find something that really will, you know, make our dreams come true.
Our first house was clearly rather emotive for Antoinette. So, with the bar set high, the following morning they headed off for the village of Clarencefield, just a few miles from the market town of Dumfries, hopeful that our next challenger would be cause for more happy tears.
OK,
It's different,
looks nice, yes.
almost brand new.
It's a gorgeous house. What it doesn't have is the land you're looking for.
Right.
But what you do have is the advantage of a village. Should we get rid of
Yes,
Yes,
please.
This turn of the millennium house had plenty to offer, starting with a large reception room.
Oh my, I'm loving this room. Very beautiful, very, very beautiful. At this moment, I'm not getting home vibes, I'm getting beautiful, but I'm not getting, I can see myself here yet.
The rest of downstairs included a second reception room, a cloakroom, an integrated garage in use as a gym, and a utility room leading off the kitchen.
So this is nice and light and airy, and it's a massive size.
It's a big size, nice range cooker.
So I'm still seeing aubergine cupboards.
Ah, from yesterday. Go and look at the upstairs, I think, by yourselves. You know more what you want in your own heads, don't you? Have a look around and then we'll talk.
A spacious landing on the first floor led to a contemporary bathroom and 3 double bedrooms, plus a small room in use as a dressing room.
Now, this
More
has got to be the
brickwork for you.
master. This is beautiful.
So,
Oh, David.
ensuite?
Yes. Double shower in there. Lots of storage.
With some enthusiastic reactions to the upstairs, we were getting mixed signals. Outside, there was a small wraparound garden with a seating area and a summer house. The majority of the green space laid to the front.
What do you think it's on the market for?
380?
Okay, I'm going to undercut you again today, I think, and go 350.
£300,000.
Okay.
But you're already shaking your head.
Beautiful house for the right family.
Even with £50,000 change in their pockets and an immaculately presented house, it seemed it wasn't enough to win over our couple.
Walking in, it's got the wow factor. It's definitely a beautiful home.
It would be a home of convenience, I think. We could buy it, we could come here, we could work, but then we would be looking to move on again.
Just didn't get that feeling that I was home.
Two very different property propositions and two very different reactions. But judging by those tears of joy from Antoinette about the first house with all that land, it's going to be a very strong contender that beats it. So let's see if the mystery house fits the bill. Our last stop was situated in the Bailey Valley, just across the border into Cumbria.
Look at that.
How about a stream, a river? How's this for a mystery house?
It's
You've got us again.
Yes.
The mystery element wasn't just its Anglo location. Dating back to 1767, this former mill was also an established holiday let business with fishing rights on the river.
Sorry, we'll get a mill as well. Yeah.
I've always wanted to be near a mill. And I'm once again thinking, OK, could we afford it?
You can ask me that later.
To add to its rich history, the mystery house had been the local post office until 1920. This large three-storey building now housed the owners' quarters as well as their business venture.
So this is one of 4 holiday lets that's being sold with the main house.
Oh,
Yeah.
OK.
That's nice.
You're opening up all sorts of ideas here. I love it. I love it. I got the big smile again. Definitely.
Each unit came with its own individual style. This one had been the original mill, set out over 2 floors and with 2 bedrooms. The log cabin had its sleeping quarters up on a mezzanine level. The third was a 3-bedroom family unit with bags of character.
Look at this original feature. Oh, I don't even know where to look first.
And finally, a modern 1-bedroom annex, which could be also accessed from the main house. Sonali sent our couple to tour the living quarters on their own, starting with the upstairs sitting room.
Oh, wow. This is beautiful. This is nice. So that's quite nice that it sort of interlinks if you need it to. Very nice. And then just looking straight in front, dining room area.
Yes.
Beautiful, nice size again. This almost feels stately home. Look at these doors. Very elegant.
This is very nice.
I like it. I like it.
Also on this floor was a country-style kitchen with a range cooker, a sunroom, a snug and a bathroom. In the eaves of the second floor was a large landing, off which lay a shower room and 4 bedrooms, 3 with ensuite bathrooms. Outside, the garden extended to around half an acre, with the river running through it, as well as lots of seating areas.
There is so much potential here. Oh, my days.
What are you thinking so far?
It's all lovely.
What's it on the market for?
I'm still back at my 450.
So we didn't talk about it, but I was thinking the same figure.
They're asking for £380,000.
This is magnificent. It really is a find.
Our amazing Mystery House package offered a substantial 4-bedroom home with 4 holiday lets, all wrapped up in a former 18th century mill. Although slightly over their budget, David and Antoinette seemed to be giving this proposition some real thought.
As I came across that bridge, I just thought, wow. I was taken aback and really wondering how we were going to be able to budget for something as magnificent as that.
It will be a completely new adventure if we were to take this on.
With a last-minute challenger to our phenomenal first property, we had left our buyers with some serious thinking to do. But only one would let them take the plunge and fulfil their dreams of moving to the country. It's been almost 9 months since Sonali was here with David and Antoinette in Dumfries and Galloway. And here I am, back, slightly warmer I think, the weather's a bit nicer, to find out what happened. You will not at all be surprised to know that it was the first property that won over their hearts and their bank book, because here it is, now they're home, with a new lick of paint I notice. So let's find out how they're getting on. Hi, Antoinette. Hi, David.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Oh, so lovely to see you.
Sonali sends her love.
Oh, bless her.
I'm in her stead. I can't wait to see inside, may
Bless
I?
you,
Yes.
please, welcome, come in.
Thank you, thank you. Having viewed and fallen in love with this house last October, the sale went through on a wing and a prayer 5 long months later in March 2021. Oh, it's so beautiful. I can understand why you were so smitten.
Yeah. Total goosebumps every single morning still.
Still?
Still.
Because it was very charming. As Sonali was showing you the other houses, you were like, yeah, but it's not the aubergine kitchen and it's not the 360
and
views.
we kept our aubergine kitchen.
And how was the actual move?
We moved during lockdown.
That was fun. Getting a removal van was nigh on impossible, so we bought a van. And we'd done the move in 8 trips. Up, down, down, up.
From the East Town?
Yep.
Yes.
Now that's a true testament to their character. Luckily, David and Antoinette have only had to make minor cosmetic changes to the house, leaving them more time to enjoy the spectacular scenery. Look at that view!
Isn't it just fabulous?
You cannot go anywhere in this house and not have a beautiful view out.
And this is your office?
This is where I work
Wow.
from. This is where I do my remote working, and it's just a really pleasant surrounding. And this is in contrast to being in our 2-bedroom flat, and where you just had the noise of all sorts of traffic all day long up until about 3, 4 in the morning. And here, the most you're going to get is a tractor every hour, the train in the background every 3 hours. I'm not sure how often it comes back, but very rare. So it's really quite idyllic.
Prompt me if I say it wrongly, but you have 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms here?
Five bedrooms,
Which
yes.
is a lot more than you asked for.
It's 3 more than our stipulation, but it's perfect because it means that we can have people to stay.
I can see us being able to change these downstairs rooms, put some French doors on here and change them into bedrooms. And then you have your guest rooms upstairs, so your young and able guests go upstairs. And we would live downstairs. And one of the things I really wanted in my heart of hearts was a bungalow. If I wanted to stay in the house that we moved to forever. And this allows us to do that. I can actually see this house taking us into our future.
With one eye always on the horizon and no shortage of ideas, I'm eager to know what plans are afoot for their 3 acres of land and outbuildings. Wow, this is amazing. Right at the beginning you were talking about having this lovely vision of it being a respite centre, people coming to stay, and is that still happening?
At the moment, we'd like to develop it as our personal garden first, but we would also like people to still wild camp here.
It's less land than we'd perhaps been looking at, but it's more than enough for us to manage at the moment.
This is what I always say on the show, because people say, yeah, I want 10 acres.
Perfectly adequate from our allotment in London to this. Any more would have been, I think, quite traumatic.
A blessing in disguise, perhaps. Time to delve a little deeper. How has it been moving from the thick of London to this beautiful open space?
Absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
All our prayers answered in one and more besides.
We woke up this morning, there was mist rolling down the valley, I noticed, over the river, and we've had some glorious sunsets, seen deer on the skyline once or twice.
Another very big factor was your family.
So we have our first family visitors with us now. They came up by train from London.
It must be quite a change of scenery for them.
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful.
Yes, yeah.
Wonderful for us as well, just to have the company in the house and to have that sort of noise around us, you know. So we have missed a bit of that family interaction.
Antoinette and David have really found solace in their new surroundings, but with family and friends so far away now, they've had to establish new bonds. Their faith playing a significant role in the success of their move. So they're taking me to meet Daniel Sturgeon, their new minister at the Baptist Church in Stranraer.
It was nice to find a young minister here at the church with a young family, and just to realise, yes, we could grow with this church.
Getting glowing reviews.
Yeah, no, that's great, I'll take that. We believe the church is a family. As soon as they walked in the door, they were part of us, so it's been really wonderful to have them.
I heard, Daniel, that you have joined the queue to do some wild camping on their land.
Yes, I have, yeah. Well, I just spent a bit of time with David and Antoinette just to get to know them, and I was blown away at the area. And when they said they wanted to turn it into a quiet space for retreat and for contemplation and prayer, it sounds right up my alley. So yeah, I'll be there.
Outside of their worship, the couple often spend time at Castle Kennedy Gardens, not far from the church, and beautiful in bloom at this time of the year. Despite being in the area such a short time, they seem to have embraced the local people and places. What do you think has been the message of this move?
We believe that we've been brought here for a reason, and one of those reasons we believe is to slow down.
Do you feel that, your vision of the faith or God has somehow given you something that you didn't expect coming here?
Way more than we could ever have dreamt of. We're just two normal, average, working class people from London, and we've landed up here. How? It's the best thing that ever happened to us.
From the very beginning, David and Antoinette had complete faith that things would just work out, and so they have. After years of making the trendy London district of Shoreditch his home, my next escapee was also looking for a completely new lifestyle. Like David and Antoinette, he was seeking inspiration from the wild and rambunctious landscapes of Scotland in order to be, quite literally, literary.
I've been living in Shoreditch for 19 years, but back when I moved then, nobody had even heard of Shoreditch. And then all of a sudden it started to become very hip. So the area's become very, very buzzy. There's a lot of good clubs and bars and stuff around here. So it's great if you're young, but, I'm not anymore.
Gym goer Mark had enjoyed 3 decades in busy London, running his own strategy consultation business. But having recently taken time out from the city to travel, he'd decided it was crunch time.
I need to be out of this city. I need to be in a fresh air sort of setting with space, with light, with greenery.
With his flat already sold, Mark was looking to return to his familial roots, more than 350 miles north in the southern uplands of Scotland.
The reason I'm looking in Dumfries and Galloway is essentially it's where my mum is from. My cousins have got a farm there, so I know the country pretty well. I spent some time last year touring around the borders, and I thought, you know what, I think my heart is here.
But it wasn't just family and fresh air motivating his move. Mark was also hoping that he could pursue a lifelong passion.
I started writing when I was 8. I wrote my first novel, in inverted commas, at 8, but I've always wanted to write, and that's the plan now.
Helping him on the way was his trusted friend David.
I've known Mark for 19, 20 years. I know what he likes, and I know the style he likes, but he's not so rigid that he won't be able to adapt that style, which I think is probably why we're such good friends.
Yeah.
Mark wanted to find a detached property with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a manageable garden in a secluded rural setting with great views. He also required a separate space for his hobbies of model making and crafting. The budget to make this a reality was £300,000. The first stop on our quest was served by the picturesque village of Thornhill. We journeyed 13 miles beyond the village and through the Scour Hills to find this striking property. Quite a long journey, but here it is, our first offering.
Wow.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's just lovely.
Pretty remote.
It is pretty remote.
You wanted to be quiet and definitely no neighbours.
Yeah, there's definitely no neighbours.
Well, you've got a sheep farm over there. So you've got lots and lots of sheep.
It sits beautifully, though.
Yeah.
In the hills.
It's a lovely property.
Beautiful.
Shall we take a look inside?
Yeah,
yes,
let's
please.
lead on.
This detached 19th century farmhouse would have originally been a single-storey shepherd's cottage. Built from sandstone with a slate roof, it had been modernised in recent years. Come on in. It's a very simple layout.
Yeah.
It's basically this room and then the other room.
Wood burner.
Yeah,
it's a good sign. Beautiful. Need it up here.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you feel about the energy of the place?
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
The ground plan's pretty simple, so the kitchen's over here. So it's a country kitchen.
That's cute.
Oh, yes, that's nice.
Cute? Yeah.
Nice.
Dual aspect, this one. So you've got these lovely views, amazing views down the thing. So you're sitting there having your morning coffee.
Yeah, the lighting is great, actually.
Upstairs, you've got 2 double bedrooms, lovely views. So you could, of course, sacrifice one of those and have it as your writing nest.
My eyrie.
Your eyrie. Off the first floor landing was a spacious main bedroom with superb views, as well as a bathroom.
I can see what Alistair means about perhaps using this as a writing room.
Yeah. No, the views are amazing.
These rooms weren't the only place Mark could rest his head. Next door to the main house was a self-contained 1-bedroom annex.
Wow. Oh.
This is different.
That's a complete contrast to the apartment. I could live in here. This would be my writing room.
This is very you.
Outside, the property was set within a glen and surrounded by hills and trees. The uncultivated countryside blended seamlessly with the garden, which featured a small wildflower meadow. All in all, about an acre. So this is your estate, your Scottish estate, Mark.
There's not much lawn to mow.
I think it's very manageable for Mark. He's not a landscape gardener, so this is perfect.
Yeah. What do you think the price is, Mark?
Well, I think it's quite a lot of property for the taking here. I am going to guess 285,000.
I'm going to say £270,000.
And so this offers over £280,000. With a starting price tag of £280,000, Mark could potentially secure this property within budget. It was all down to location.
I think it's just a little remote for you.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is quite remote, and I think ultimately that is a big factor. But it's a really interesting property, so I'd like to keep it on the list.
Our search continued the next day in the hamlet of Old Bridge of Urr, not far from Castle Douglas. Less than 10 minutes from here, on the banks of the River Urr, was our next property. So, chaps, what do you think?
I think it's great. Really like it.
I think it's lovely, absolutely beautiful. And it's, I think, just rural enough and has just enough population to keep him happy.
The traditional 19th century slate-roofed cottage had been part of a mill complex in use until the 1950s. It had since served as the local post office before its conversion. A kitchen all in one room, so not a scullery, but actually everything together.
Yeah, and I like it. It's cosy and warm, and you've got a range again. Yeah.
Can you see yourself putting your stamp on this?
I think so, yeah.
David, do you agree?
Yes, yeah, but it would be very easy for him to have it the way he wants it. But again, the bones of the building are beautiful.
Across the hall was the living room. Lovely stone wall here.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Very atmospheric.
It's a big room, and it's great having the double aspect because you get lots of lovely light. And it's kind of big and cosy at the same time.
For an old building, the rooms are amazingly spacious.
Upstairs, the roof space had been converted to make way for 2 double bedrooms. Back on the ground floor was a bathroom and a well-presented main bedroom with an ensuite.
It's a good size. You've got good wardrobe space and ensuite. It's perfect.
David?
I love it. I think it's really nice. You've got a beautiful garden to wake up to in the morning.
So, all smiles.
What's going on?
I'm getting a bit anxious. Let's head out into the garden, see if there's any problems there. Outside there was a compact garden to the front, with half an acre of lawn to the rear, complete with its very own Bridge of Urr in miniature. A vast garage with additional loft storage could easily be converted into a hobby room.
It's lovely, secluded and rural. It has a combination of all the things that I'm looking for.
What do you think the price tag is on this one?
I'm going to be hopeful and say £250,000.
David?
Well, I'm going to say £230,000.
Well, in this instance, you're both a little too hopeful, actually, because this is on the market for offers in the region of £270,000.
OK.
Coming in £30,000 under budget, this property was gently edging Mark back towards civilization.
I could see myself here. There's not a huge amount that needs doing, so that might be workable. It's the sort of place I could probably grow to love.
I actually think this might be the house for Mark. It's got everything he likes.
I always love property shopping with an open-minded buyer like Mark. He was very positive about all the opportunities that we'd looked at. And with nothing ruled out, the next up was the mystery house. The destination for our last property was the village of Port William, set on the shores of Luce Bay. And the house itself was a mere stone's throw from the harbour side. So you said you didn't want an attached house?
No.
This is the mystery house. And the mystery is, it's not attached. It's both houses.
Well, that is quite a mystery.
Yeah.
Oh, OK.
Formerly the town piggery, these two 19th century stone cottages may have appeared traditional from the outside, but inside they had been completely remodelled, and what once housed pigs was now a slick and contemporary home by the sea.
Gosh.
That's incredible.
Oh, it's an amazing place. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it's such a beautiful refit, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it for you? Do you like it?
I do like it.
But I see some hesitation.
My hesitation is location. I think if you moved it 30 miles down the coast, I'd bite your hand off. The solitude would be great here. The peace, the ability to look at the ocean is absolutely fantastic. Can we put it on a low loader and take it back to Solway?
If only I had that low loader, I would be a bisquillionaire. There were 3 double bedrooms located on the ground floor of the main house. 2 had sea views and patio doors leading to the garden. These made use of a modern family bathroom. This would probably be a master because it's got a beautiful ensuite with a kind of wet room back there. And also you could just lie in bed and watch the breakers crash against your garden wall. Outside, a large courtyard garden had direct access down to the beach, and both cottages benefited from a raised terrace. Next door had a similar layout to the main house, with bedrooms and bathroom on the ground floor and living areas on the upper level.
I think it's a perfect place to come if you were maybe doing watercolour painting, to come and have a painting holiday looking at the sea.
What do you think the price tag is?
I'm going to take a stab at £315,000.
I think it's right on budget at £300,000.
It's on the market for offers over £284,999. Our 2-for-1 mystery piggery by the sea had so many wonderful elements for Mark to enjoy.
I certainly think the location is an inspiring one. The view out of the windows is amazing, and I could certainly see how, for the right person, it would be a fantastic property.
One thing that seemed to have been cemented on our journey was the need for Mark to be close to transport links. Even the lure of those enchanting coastal views couldn't quite entice him further west. But when I left him, he was more determined than ever to make his country move. After our epic adventure, Mark was well and truly seduced by Dumfries and Galloway, and now that I'm back up here, it's easy to see why. He was tempted by one of our properties, but in the end he decided against it because he found this beautiful dwelling. So let's find out how it all panned out in this writer's retreat. Hey, Mark!
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, what an amazing place!
Thank you.
It's not dissimilar to the one in the Bridge of Urr.
No, it has certain similarities, so yeah.
Can I see inside?
Of course. This is what I call my great room.
Wow, it's actually really big.
Yeah, there's this kind of TARDIS effect to it.
And the kitchen around the side.
Kitchen around the side, and then bedroom through there.
Dating back to the 1880s and all set on one level, the cottage was extended about 20 years ago, adding the Great Room, which opens onto a modern U-shaped kitchen and a bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. Beautifully done. Have you done much work to it?
I did redecorate entirely to my tastes and had a new heating system put in.
How many years have you been here?
Just coming up on 2 years.
And how's it been?
It's been great, actually. It's really achieved its purpose. I mean, I joke that I self-isolated 5 months before everybody else did, which in a sense was true. But I came up here to start my writing career properly.
And is this your writing table?
I tend to write here in the summer, so I can have the doors open, there's a nice flow through. Also, it's very light until about 10:30. Not so light in the winter, that's when I write in my writing room.
The original cottage has 2 bedrooms, along with Mark's all-important scripting sanctuary. So you sit here and you do your writing, but you've also got a piano. Are you learning the piano?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to. I'm kind of getting there, but it's a lot of work.
Because I remember this was one of your creations.
Yes, that's a conversion of a very plain kind of aluminium-faced clock, which I kind of steampunked up.
And have you been doing that sort of creative work or concentrating on the writing?
Bits and bobs, yeah. Sometimes to do a bit of craft, it's kind of it's using a different part of your brain. So yeah, I do like that.
Creative contemplative Mark has been giving his brain quite the workout since his arrival here 2 years ago. So, 3 burning questions.
3.
1, did you finish your book? 2, how has Scotland been? And 3, did David come and visit?
Yes, pretty cool, and not yet. I initially came here to finish my science fiction novel, which I did last May. So I'd always fancied writing some steampunk short stories. Steampunk is a kind of an alternate Victorian timeline where technology is more advanced, but along steam pathways. So there's lots of clockwork and airships and steam trains and that kind of thing. And then in March this year, I published a collection of short stories.
Going by his accomplishments so far, I wonder what it is about this place that makes it so inspiring.
It is so quiet, so peaceful here. It's so green, it's so easy to get out and have a break, go for a cycle ride, go for a walk. I think for me, this place had all the ingredients.
Have you had lots of people come to visit?
So I've had a few visitors, which has been really nice. It's not actually as far to visit as people think. I'm only 3.5 hours from London on the train.
Having fulfilled all his ambitions for this move, I'm eager to hear what the next chapter has in store. And so are you going to stay put here? Is this your place for life?
Alas, probably not. I'm quite distant from family and friends here, and both my parents are getting on a bit, so unfortunately I'm going to have to think about making a move.
Back to London?
God, no. No, absolutely not.
Although Mark's time here has been short-lived, they say things happen for a reason, a season or a lifetime. This may not be his forever home, but Mark's time in Dumfries will definitely impact on him for the rest of his life. He's launched his writing career from here and forged a close friendship with his rock star neighbour Leslie, who left her world touring days behind to raise her child back home.
She and I have been hanging out quite a lot, and drinks in the garden and dinners and coffee in the morning and that kind of thing, and also bike rides. It's a lovely area for getting out on the roads and riding a bike around here.
Leslie, Mark has just called you the coolest neighbour in the whole county. It's quite big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I know. He keeps saying that. The first time he turned up at my door, he was wearing like some big fluffy jacket that looked kind of old, and I thought, oh, just, he's some farmer guy from down the road.
How wrong could you be?
I know, exactly. So the next time he came around, he had his T-shirt on, and I saw his tattoos and stuff, and I thought, oh, he's one of mine.
So has Leslie saved your bacon psychologically here?
To a large extent, yeah. I think it would be much more challenging without somebody cool on the doorstep.
Weirdos like us, it's quite hard to difficult to find folk that we really are on a par with anywhere, you know, but especially in the countryside.
But Leslie herself has felt the winds of change and is planning a return to North America to reprise her music career. But not before lending me her bicycle. I think Leslie has smaller legs than me. What a splendid way of taking in this stunning setting.
Great view.
Oh, this is beautiful. If you were going to draw a Scottish burn, this is what it would look like.
Perfect.
So, all told, I know that you're not going to stay put here, but do you feel like your 2 years in Scotland have been a success?
Yeah, very much so. It's achieved all the goals I could have wanted to, and cleared my head, you know, shaken London out of me, and all to the good, I think.
So it's a London detox.
Perfect London detox.
And in terms of people who might be watching thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't move to Scotland, what are the things you have to bear in mind when you make that big decision?
The thing I'd say is do your research. Make sure that wherever you choose has got everything that you require within easy striking distance.
Well, I mean, this is a great advert for doing it. Oh. So if you want to buy a house in the north of England, I know a really good show that might help. David and Antoinette, and indeed Mark's radical lifestyle change is, to borrow a word from Scottish history, brave-hearted. Because if you want to move that far, whether you're moving from the Orkneys down to the Scillies or from London up to the Highlands, then you do need to be brave enough to make the decision and brave enough to carry it through. And then Mark came up for a short but potent stay, and David and Antoinette for a much longer one. But that sort of radical transformation does require the courage to take the leap. So hopefully we may have inspired you to escape to the country, or at the very least to join us next time for another edition of the show. If you also dream of escaping to the country in Scotland, Wales, England or Northern Ireland and would like our help, why not apply online at bbc.co.uk/take part.